Hey friends, what's up? Welcome to a new episode of Is It My Team or Do I Suck? One of my favorite support characters, honestly, Kiriko. Still overpowered, and we'll go over today's replay, which comes from Tabist. Tabist is a bronze 5 player, so he's very new to Overwatch, and he says, I started playing mid-season, first season. I've been constantly deranking since I originally placed in bronze 1. I can't believe we won this game. Spoilers, since it really felt like my tank kept feeding. Why is it always a tank, guys? We need to talk. And we constantly staggered, but somehow it happened. My aim definitely wasn't great, but I think I deserve about gold. He's currently stuck in bronze, but he thinks he deserves gold. Let's see what you have, Tabist. So you engage in the fight, and so what do I want to keep in mind before you even start playing out, right? Look at your comp before you start the game. So your job right now as Kiriko is keeping the tank up, mostly, right? Because your Mercy is going to be on the DPS. I know your Ryan is going in really aggressively here, but you're playing so far back and so passive with a character that has insane potential just by herself, right? Like you can walk in and in case, yeah, the Ryan is fed. And in case you're under pressure, right? You can teleport out. You have a free out with the teleport every few seconds, and you have Suzu. But your main job is to keep the tank up. And you will seem to be very scared of using your teleport as well, from what I've noticed, right? This is just very basic shit. Like, I know you don't want to necessarily teleport into the tank when he's already inside of the entire team, but you want to try to keep line of sight. And of course that also is on your tank for not holding the line of sight, right? But you want to try to keep your tank up here in this comp. You have the classic thing that I call a support syndrome, where supports play really passive because they think of themselves as just healers, and you're just trying to sit all the way in the back and never take any risks. But that's not how you play supports, like most supports, and especially Kiriko. And keep your tank up. Right now you should all, yeah. And that was on you. I'm not saying your tank is playing great, he's definitely feeding, but you could definitely have saved your tank here with a well-timed cleanse. Like you attack here when you see your tank already being on 1 HP, and that's just kind of horrible. That should be a #1 priority. You cleanse too late. I'm not saying he would have lived if he didn't cleanse earlier, but yeah. Okay, anyways. Support is actually really, really strong in Overwatch right now. Arguably a bit weaker than tank, but support is definitely stronger or has more impact than DPS. And you can turn the fights around by you going in and maybe getting that kill on the Hanzo. And you can fight him right here. You can actually engage him. You have wall climb too, right? And you have all cooldowns up and you're not using them. You're just sitting there being super scared of dying when you actually not really, like, what are you scared of dying to, right? You want to respect the Hanzo one-shot, you want to respect the Sojourn, but the Mercy is not going to do anything to you. You will 1v1 the Ana most likely, right? If she antis you, you can cleanse yourself. So who are you really scared of? All you have to do is stay away from their Ramatra, right? So what you want to do is, you definitely want to look for a Kitsune Rush, and #1 thing I can tell you about Kitsune Rush, just in general, like a very basic tip for low ranks or high ranks, you don't want to put it right in front of the enemy Ramatra's face, for example, right? Because in order to use it, you have to be inside of the area, which is pretty big, right? He can just contest that ground, and then you need to fight melee range into a ram. So you want to use it a tiny bit back, want to make sure at least one of your DPS gets it, like use it with your junk. This is also, I'm not saying, again, all of these deaths that your team has, I'm not saying they are on you, right? Like, but if you react fast enough, you could have probably saved this guy again. Because there's like really a split-second decision, but this split-second decision is gonna make or break your hero, right? You see him going into yellow. Your Junkrat is in the range of being able to be one-shot by basically a Hanzo body shot, a Sojourn body shot, right? Etc, etc. So that's where you actually wanna blink in, and maybe you don't even have to use cleanse. Just make sure he gets the healing so he doesn't die. Instead you turn around and you don't look at him, and then you look back at him. Of course it's not gonna hit him. The healing is kind of auto-aim, but like you're not gonna heal around corners. Instead he dies, which is unlucky. Maybe your Mercy can get a res off. You look kind of confused. You're like, what? Was that my fault? Yes, it was. You suck. Alright, so they use Sojourn ult. You EMP in. And this is the time where you really actually want to move in and play with your tank. You are playing way too passive, dude. So I get you're already starting the fight down 1, right? But your team is engaging, and then you have to commit. You have to make the choice to commit here. There's only 2 choices. Choice #1 is commit and go in, and choice #2 is run back and play like a pussy and lose the fight 100% guaranteed. Probably Kiriko ult right here, or teleport your Ryan and Kiriko ult to the right side, right? As long as it's away from the Ramatra and someone on your team benefits from it, it's gonna carry. Instead, you use no cooldowns and you just sit there passively. You know, you throw a few left clicks. You sit there passively. Again, instead of healing, instead of cleansing. And now you're down 2. You can still turn this fight around. You see your Ryan getting a pick and your Ryan is still healthy. So you can teleport him right now. If you're scared of dying, don't play Overwatch. Everyone dies in Overwatch. In real life too, I guess, but only once. That turned dark really quick, sorry. Imagine you blink in, cleanse him, and then you Kiriko ult away from the Ramatra. The Kiriko ult also gives you movement speed. You can still back out, get your cooldowns back, and you can give your Ryan a fighting chance with double healing speed or 1.5 times the healing speed to actually win this fight. And it's actually pretty... What the hell? Something wrong with Sojourn, guys. Are we playing Slender Man? You didn't even have to Kiriko ult. Your Ryan had a shatter, and he actually shattered too. So all you had to do is blink in, cleanse him, he shatters everyone, and he probably kills everyone because you keep him up. And instead you sit here doing nothing. My tank kept feeding, and your tank actually played that fight correctly. It was on you, man. You didn't heal him. Okay, let's see this. It has been half the game and you have not used Kitsune ult once. And honestly, this is not a bad Kitsune. I probably would have placed it more towards your Junkrat on the right side, but this is not an awful Kitsune. You're getting some value out of it, so not the worst ult. Use the cleanse! Good job, okay. Well, you still lose this, because the other team shit on you. Okay, so one of you has to stay on card. In this case, it's probably the correct call that it should be you, because... You have to keep in mind, on Kiriko, all of your abilities have travel time. The Suzo flies pretty slowly, and the left click, the Ofuda, the healing, fries. I know it's scary to teleport into the face of the enemy, but you have that 0.75 second immortality after you cleanse. You have so many escape abilities too, right? Even if you use everything to go in, you can wall climb, right? You can run away. Also have to keep in mind what the enemy does, right? What the enemy can do to your tank. That wasn't really your tank dying to their tank. That was more so your tank dying to the Ana anti. So you are the counter, to simplify, to the enemy Ana, right? You want to cleanse their antis, their sleeps. That's how you turn the fight around. But you're not doing that. And another thing, high-level Kirikos, what they do is they take like a somewhat aggressive off angle and they can contest an enemy DPS and actually win that fight pretty easily, right? You can cleanse yourself and teleport out, or you win the fight, right? And that's how you carry on Kiriko. But you're not doing that because you're so worried about staying alive. KD gamer right here. Certified KD gamer. Still in bronze 5 though. Alright, good cleanse. Good shatter by you, Reinhardt. You win this. Easy clap. Move up. Kill them. Execute them. Okay, you have Kiriko ult. Please don't Kiriko ult right now. That's like a bronze 5 mistake. Let's see. Okay, you didn't Kiriko ult. That's good. Congrats. Better than the average bronze 5 player. And now you probably get forward capture, right? Like, they're down 1 already. Okay, you're staying away from... Just cancel his own ult? I'm confused, wait. I think he pressed his shift again.
Hey pal, you just blowing from stupid town?
So he cancelled it himself by pressing Q twice. Well, that's a throw. Blink! Shit! Blink! Teleport! Look. You're up. That tank is dead. Your Ryan has full shield, okay? There's nothing they can do to kill you. The only person that's about to die is the Reinhardt, because he's anti. Your job is to cleanse the anti. What are they gonna do? He has full shield. Nothing. The Ram is in their spawn. Oh my god, tank diff? No, this is actually the hardest support diff. Yeah, the only reason you're winning this is because that team is even worse than you. My aim definitely isn't great, but I think I deserve gold.
No.
You're just hoping your team carries you. You're the average Mercy main. Sorry, that's a joke. It's a joke. I love my Mercy main. Sorry, it's a joke. Just cut it out. You have EMP. They have a few, but they, you should win this here. Okay. Drop the Kitsune ult, finally. Second Kitsune ult of the game. Okay, trying to keep your you're keeping your Ryan up for once. Okay, and now you're probably losing this, right? They're using everything. That's fine. You have 2 more fights at least. And now you wait until you get Tire and Mercy ult and probably Shatter, and you just win, right? By pressing Q. A lot of fights are just won by having more ults. Alright, so you're contesting. Honestly, That was a nice play. You can actually contest the card from up here. I think you did it a bit too late. You could have definitely lived by cleansing yourself. I've not seen you use the cleanse offensively, or I should say defensively for yourself. And you could have definitely done it here, right? And now you're kind of staggered, but again, here comes the insta spawn. And they're going in. Monka S. Kind of on you. Kind of on them for going in as well. Let's be fair. But your Junkrat is back to save the fucking day. You know what would be interesting? Stats. I would love to see what you actually provided for your team. Because I don't think you did nearly enough damage on Kiriko. And I know this sounds harsh because you're in Bronze 5. It's the lowest rank in the game. It's for new players. You said you're pretty new, right? There's nothing wrong with being low rank. And I'm not going to try to make fun of Bronze 5. I think you're pretty solid and you probably belong a bit higher than Bronze 5. It wasn't the worst of the worst. Ow. I just hit my mic. Like, you have the basic concepts of positioning down, but now you really gotta actually start playing the video game. Like, you gotta press the buttons. Like, try to play aggressive. And if you're scared of dying, it's gonna happen. If you want to improve, right? You're very new in your Overwatch career. If you want to improve, you gotta figure out what you can get away with. If you never take any risks, you will not improve. And you're not taking enough risks. And you're not proactive enough. Especially on a character like Kiriko. Chloe is in Bronze 5. She thinks she deserves gold. And she says in her message, the game was pretty good. I good a few Kiriko picks and healed. So I think I definitely did decent, but with my team's positioning, it was hard to do healing or protecting myself. But I guess it ended up working out. I don't think I'm like at least bronze level Mao, so I guess you think you're better rank? I always say this, if you're stuck in Bronze 5, there's something you're doing very wrong. Let's see what you're doing very wrong. You have a Lucio with speed boost, and you are the main healing of the team, right? So your priority right now is to keep your tank up, keep your DPS up, because the Lucio is obviously going to provide a little less healing. Your tank is already kind of low. It's kind of scary what you're doing here in general, but the biggest mistake you're doing here, this soldier has no clue you're here. So you can take all the time in the world, right? He's standing still. So you have all the time in the world to put your crosshair on him and headshot him once. But you panic so much by going up here, and you already started shooting like halfway. He still has no clue you're there. And then you aim at his gun. I guess you like pacifism and you don't want violence in your games? Sadly, not how Overwatch works. He's still gonna shoot. You just spent like 3 seconds shooting randomly instead of just taking the time to headshot Kiriko, the left click or the damage. Just slowly pointing your mouse at their head. You would have probably gotten the kill. It seems to me like you're just shooting before you're actually on them. You're kind of panicky. Which, again, that's not what I'm gonna make fun of you for, right? Like, it is bronze rank, and you probably have to get better at aiming in general, but again, take the time. I mean, now you're just gonna push. You hear the soldier footsteps on the right. You definitely want to be aware that they're literally behind you. I mean, there's a shitfest. Clown Fiesta. Can you play the clown music, the circus music? There's a few good aim maps where you can just like practice against bots if you're really struggling or you're very new to the game. Okay, so in other news, I don't know what's going on. This is all over the place. Okay, you realize your tank is low, you teleport to your tank, cleanse. And honestly, good Kiriko ult can keep your tank up. Yeah, your team is kind of not with you, but now you're kind of panic. Okay, this is like a panic mode. So you're sitting on card and you realize, wait, my team is dying, right? Or they're somewhere, right? There's a few options you have here, right? And none of them are great, but you can still get value out of this. You can turn around and realize that the Orisa is right there, and you can probably 2v1 the Orisa really easily because the Orisa is completely exposed and alone, and you just use gold for no reason. Huh? Instead, you kind of panic. You do realize your healing doesn't go through walls, right? So if you want to keep your Bastion up, for example, you can walk towards him, teleport to him, and heal. You see the Mei on the screen too. You can teleport to your Mei right now and save her and probably win the fight against the soldier. But instead, you're just panicking. You're like, I can't see anything! And you're like, "Bleh." Trying to heal the air. Patience. As a kid, my mom thought I had ADHD. I went to a doctor. They said I'm borderline, like not. Like, I'm pretty hyper. I get what you're experiencing here.
What do you mean by that?
I'm not saying you have ADHD, by the way. I'm saying you're like playing very panicky. It hurts your gameplay. Right? Patience is king. And if you can't play the game, if you feel like the game pace is too fast for you, which happens all the time, it happens in my games too, then slow it down, take a breather, and then, you know, think about it with a clear head. Act smart, like I do. You don't have to be smart. I'm not smart either, right? Act smart. Fake it. risky teleport, and then instead of... Okay, what happened there? So you look for the TP, which is great, and then the Mei on your team is right next to you. You can cleanse her right now.
Help me!
Right, you see her. You see her. But instead you're like running around, you don't really know what's happening, and you don't focus on anything. You don't have a goal in mind. Your goal should be to keep the Mei up or worry about yourself. But by you panicking, you're doing neither. And you just die to Reaper ult, even though you still had your cleanse up, right? Your best ability. Okay, good cleanse. And now you're up. You have speed, you move in. W, aggro, aggro. Walk in, walk in. You're all full. They're in shambles. I don't know why you're backing out. Walk in. Again, another thing you can do is, if you're actually very worried about your aiming not being good, you can make sure your team stays up, and that's what you're doing. So this is a pretty good job by you. You can still Kitsune ult here. Honestly, I like this, as long as you keep your Kiriko, not your Kiriko up, your Orisa up. Okay, good, good. I like your positioning, at least. As long as you focus on healing here and make sure your team is alive. That's great. And again, this is your job. Your Suzu is the thing that's gonna save your teammates, right? This ability is OP. It can save anyone from dying, right? It makes your teammates and you invulnerable for 0.75 seconds, but it also just cleanses any negative status effects. I mean, you know the Reaper is still there, right? So if you are aware, the only thing that can kill you here is the Reaper, right? And you see him. You are the one that's supposed to save your team here. Press the cleanse, and you probably just live and kill him. But instead you don't do it and you die for it. And the Reaper 1v5s your team, basically. Your Mei ults in. 2v5. And it somehow works. What is even happening? What the hell am I watching? Okay, so this is just both teams running in and pressing random Q buttons. Yep. It continues. Oh my god. Nice shot on the Moira. Okay, and now you're up to keep your team up. Keep your team up. Keep your team up. Worry about your Orisa. You need to worry about your Orisa instead of DPSing. Look at your Orisa. She has been critical for 5 minutes. Worry about your Orisa instead of trying to fight the Reaper. Your Orisa is still somehow alive. Hey, thank you. You need to know your priorities. If you feel like your second support is healing your team enough, or healing your team pretty well, you can go more aggro and go for those 1v1s against DPS. But that fight was going on for like 20 seconds. Look at this fight from third person, right? Your Orisa is in, trying to fight, which that's not her fault. That's good, right? And you are up a lot, and your Orisa is just actually like panicking to stay alive. And meanwhile, you're still sitting there fighting. And then you finally realize, after the fight was basically over, that your tank needs healing. And again, that's your #1 job. I'll say this because this is low rank again. Don't try to do everything the pros do. Or like if you watch like a high level streamer, right? Like if you watch ML7 or like a really good support player. Anyone can improve and get to GM. I truly believe that. But like, you're not gonna be a master overnight. You're not gonna wake up as a peasant and then go like, woo, I'm a king. Take it step by step and play it at your own pace. So #1 thing I would do here is just focus on hitting your Suzus is your #1 priority, or your #2 priority, and healing your team. And then you can worry about everything else, like dealing damage, like getting pickoffs, and doing more for your team. And I can guarantee you at this rank in Bronze 5, if you keep your team up and you focus on healing, hitting your ult at the correct time, right? And hitting your Suzus, you will win. You will climb at least to gold, even with complete trash aim. Tracer pulse. You need to be aware. You see him coming, blink in. Yeah, and you did the exact same mistake the other Kiriko does, and I don't know why Kiriko mains do that. You have enough time to blink and cleanse if you react in time. You had a lot of time to prepare for that. You saw the Tracer move in on the left. You see her in your line of sight. You see her shoot. Pulse bomb is an ult you farm really fast on Tracer, right? So at this point, when she blinks in here, you gotta assume it. You need to be like, whoop! Teleport in, and Suzu and you save your entire team. That's how you carry the fight here. And that's your #1 priority in terms of what they have, and you didn't do it, right? 60 seconds. Surely you don't lose this. Okay. They flux. Again, you could have saved your Lucio here if you time it properly. It's not the easiest thing to do. A well-timed Suzu can protect him from the slam. He would have lived. And you didn't use either of your abilities, right? You still have them. Okay, so you're down 1. I don't know where your other... Are you down 1 or 2? I can't tell. Yeah, you're amazing. That's one I was gonna say. So you want to back out here. You want to back out. Back the hell out. Yeah, you can try to keep your Orisa up. Maybe teleport to your Orisa. Cleanse! You could have saved your Orisa again. Another Suzu missed. And I know I say Suzu, but it is your best ability. Looking at the sky. I don't know what you're looking at. But you're holding it down, man. That's all that matters. Hey, I see this is what I like. You taking the fight. As long as you don't die, that's fine. That's fine. And now you go back to healing. Honestly, I don't mind that. If you occupy one of their DPS while you know your team is still fine and you maybe get the kill or at least force them to back out, that's a good play. Okay. Panic mode. I don't know what to do. Cleanse yourself. Nice. Alright, GG's Chloe. Overall, very similar to the last replay we just watched. Work on your Suzus. Work on being more proactive. Focus on the basics. As long as you make sure the Suzu hits. Don't worry about you aiming too much. Like if you want to spend some of your time aim training, that's fine. Focus on target priority and be aware as a support and as a powerful support like Kiriko, what you need to do, who you need to save, and what you need to use the Suzu for. And play the game more. And you get better. It's time for the bonus round, guys. Mono Matrix is a bronze 5 Life Weaver. He thinks he deserves gold. I recently started playing Life Weaver in competitive on console. I'm a support main and I peaked in gold 2 during season 3. At the end I dropped to bronze 2 within a few rank updates and seem to be stuck at bronze 5 now. I just picked up the game to be honest, but in general this resembles my positioning as Life Weaver. I really like his kit a lot. Some risky life grips here and there, not a lot of damage output. Just would be happy to receive some advice to escape bronze 5 Elo Hell. Best wishes, Alex. Hey, my name is Alex too. What's up, Alex? We'll make this really quick. The reason I have your game on double speed. Life Weaver is terrible. He does nothing. He has a 40% win rate in every rank. From bronze 5 all the way up to GM 1. Like top 500 support mains that are trying to get Life Weaver to GM and they can't. And it's not because they're bad. It's because the hero is bad. He's unplayable.
Swap characters.
Until next time, see you guys. Bye-bye.
Your life literally is as valuable as a summer ant. I'm just gonna stomp you. You're gonna keep coming back. I'm gonna